Hello everybody, I am Saberwolf and welcome to another episode of Worlds Collide. We have a special race for you today. We have the Battle Royale 2022 Ultros Pod Final between TheShwantz 27 and Fantastadon. But before we get to that, we have a couple little announcements to get to first. A couple of other pods have ran already today, or earlier this week, I should say. First, the Goddess pod, we saw Hashmalum defeat Drulith to move on to the, I guess you could say, the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals will be the top 7 racers from the 7 pods. Moving on to that round, having a 7-way race, top 4 from that, move on to the semifinals, and so on. But head-to-head, we have Hashmalum over Drulith in the Goddess pod here. And then over on the Atma side, we have Kilbasiago defeating Jolly Green Ray to move on to that quarterfinal, top 7 round. And if you want to get some more Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide with this Battle Royale, well, we have plenty on the chart for you as Wednesday, March 30th, that's tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Guardian Pod will be racing head-to-head on the Speed Gamers networks. That will be the matchup between Doesn't and Ficta. Again, you can catch that on twitch.tv/speedgamers. And on Thursday, March 31st, we got a crazy day because on that one, we actually have at 7 p.m. Inferno and the Spicy Chicken side by side, 2x2 racing. That is Inferno, which will be Zelfer versus Sato Kiaba, and Spicy Chicken, which is Dr. DT versus WR Jones. Now, I'm told that all 4 will be racing at the same time on this channel. However, for that one, they'll be racing the same seed, but they won't racing against them, all 4 of them themselves. It is just going to be Dr. TT versus WR Jones, and it's just going to be Zelfer versus Sato Kiaba. So the winner of each of those matchups will go on. They'll just all be on the screen at the same time. But wait. There's more, as you can see, at 9 p.m. after those races are done. We have the Doom Pod still back on this FF6 Worlds Collide right here on twitch.tv. But without further ado, we have our matchup for today. That is the TheShwantz 27 versus the Fantastadon. And we'll have that phrase for you in just a little bit here as we go to our race. Now, a couple little things of the flags here, as I will give them the 1-minute warning here. So, the matchup here, we've seen a lot of going back and forth between the TheShwantz and Fantastadon throughout the pod races here. The TheShwantz has been really consistent. They've been putting down 147 to a 146 to a 141, so right around the 144 range. And then the Fantastadon's either going better than that 144 or slightly worse than that 144. So it kind of goes over that line. So basically, I guess the key is we're going to look for around 140, 144, which is around where the TheShwantz has been finishing, and see where Fantastadon is going at that rate. Also, the flag set has changed. We're in week 5. The flag set has changed again. So now we got half gold again. We're from, 10 grand to 5 grand to 2,500. So 2,500 gold to start. Dead checks now count. There are no Super Balls. A lot of racers last week got blessed with a lot of Super Balls in the item shops. Those are out now. And no free progressions. Any free checks are not going to be there. And also, the max levels have gone up to 50. So, we're going to get our racers ready here. 30-second warning is going to be up for them. And yeah, so this should be pretty darn fun. I just realized now that I did not pull the chat up. So, give me a quick second to get the chat going here. And might be a little bit of lag there. But we will get going with this. Also, it helps if we had the audio of our racers here. All right, we got the Fantastadon audio going. Alrighty. We'll set them loose here. All right, 10-second board is up for them now, and they'll be starting any minute now. Also wanted to get the chat up. Let me know if I need to turn up their audios or not. Clocks did start, and we are starting with boss levels plus 10 immediately. I must have forgot that one. So we have Cyan, Shadow, and Setzer. I did see a Blitz there. We got natural magic and some health going on there as well. So let me just fire up the starting group here. Oh, that's not Setzer. That's a Yamaru. There's Setzer. So I'll try to follow as best I can. Of course, I am flying solo. I'm doing kind of the tracking and audio all together. So yeah, so you guys are going to have to bear with me as I'm flying a little solo today. So I want to make sure you guys get all the action as the highest quality as we can get out there for you all. We have TheShwantz getting the call again check. Of course, no free checks. You're not going to get any espers or characters off those kind of checks, but we do see a dragon horn. Sorry for lag, I'm just getting the chat loaded in here. Yeah, I boosted the audio balance there a little bit, so we should be good to go. Here we go, I got the chat going now. Yay for chat. I get a little lag as I open it up. There we go. Sorry. All right, we should be good now. All right, so we did get a dragon horn off that free check from Setzer. Oh no, healing rod. Okay, this run is cursed already. Yippee skippy doo. Oh man, that soldier keeps getting in the way of Fantastadon there. That's no good. Gauntlet will kind of go with that dragon horn if we can find a jumper. Okay, the jumping is actually not me. That's actually Fantastadon. So that's a, I guess that's kind of a blessing. I guess that's a really blessing for me though. Okay, that's definitely not me. That is definitely Fantastadon. So we will switch over to TheShwantz's audio there. There we go. Sorry, I'll try to mute my mic as we go on too. So, haven't really seen any checks yet. We did get that one dragon horn off the Culligan there. Pretty much the first about 10 to 15 minutes of the Worlds Collide, that is the randomizer for Final Fantasy VI, is really just kind of just gathering of items and stuff. Because again, you start with absolutely nothing on your person. It's just basically the clothes on their back and whatever starter weapon they have. So a lot of the first parts of this race is about just trying to get the items and stuff just to get some sort of fighting chance here. We see TheShwantz is going to keep that boots. He's going to keep the healing rod, actually. Grabbing the rage ring. That's interesting. Oh, okay, whoops. I got... oh, my bad. That is not saving. I need Cyan, not saving. I need Shadow save. Oh, there we go. Like I said, I'm trolling triple duty here, so... Yeah, that is true. So maybe get some early Merton stats or some of the fire stuff we might be seeing from like Spicy Chicken or like that. A little crisscross applesauce action going on as ShwantZ is going to Returners, where Fantastadon just left as Fantastadon goes down into the South Figaro basement here. In just a little bit. Once again, for those who are just joining us as we try to get some more items here, I want to remind people that... Oop, I gotta put the fade on. But, that the... Oh, no. Hold on. Ah, okay, that's not gonna work. So never mind. What I was gonna remind people is that the schedule coming up, that we do have another Worlds Collide race coming up on Wednesday. That was a free Excalibur, or was that an Elixir? Holy cow. We do have another Worlds Collide coming up 8 p.m. Eastern over on the Speed Gamers Networks. We will have a race for another pod over there. And then we'll have 3 pod races, 2 at 7 o'clock, side-by-side racing, dual racing. And then we also have another race after that's over at 9. A lot of these races we've seen get done within 2 hours. So we'll probably do a quick interview wrap-up to get to our next race at 9. So 4 hours of racing on Thursday right here at the twitch.tv FF6 Worlds Collide channel. Well, we have a lot of races going on. A lot of this is the pod racing from the Battle Royale 2022. There are 7 different pods. And this week, week 5 of the series is actually the pod finals for that. So we have 7 different races going on throughout the week. 2 of them have already happened already. And we got this one. This will be the 3rd race. And we got 3 more between Wednesdays. And we have 3 more on Thursday. 1 more tomorrow, so I think that'll take care of all the pods by Thursday. And then next week's even crazier because we're going to have 7 wide racing. Not sure if we're going to have an async, not sure if all 7 racers will be get together at the same time, but hang out on our Discord channel and to get some updates from there. Fantastadon getting some early levels here on the Bront Tours. They do give a lot of experience and decent amount of money. Setzer is vanilla with Slot, as we see Shadow with some blitz action going on here. And Cyan with health, who always has low magic power. So probably not going to see much for healing out of them. And once again, I'm getting lag some from Fantastadon's feed, so unfortunately. But TheShwantz is the smoothest one, so we'll stick with that audio. Where do you place your bets? Unfortunately, I'm not going to sponsor any kind of gambling websites or anything. But if you want to do that amongst yourselves in chat, go right ahead. Also, cannot wait for the new computer coming in. Thank God. It is being built as we speak in California, so I can't wait. I keep getting updates like every night at like 9 o'clock at night. It's amazing. As we continue our progression of getting some early battles right here in Fantastadon, trying to get a jump start on some levels while trying to get these items here in the basement, as ShwantZ is going to start passing them here, but it's still going to be at the base levels. I want to remind everybody that the flag sets did change. Gold is now cut down by half again. Now you start with only 2,500, so looting right now is a big priority. Try to get a bunch of money to get these items that you need to start the game. Also, dead checks do count now. The dead checks didn't count on level progressions like that, but they do count now. On top of the fact that bosses are actually plus 10 levels to start this thing. So before you even begin, you are already, what is this? So it's 6, 7, 17. There are already 17 levels. Well, you're only level 3. It's right around there. So, and since ShwantZ already did a free check, there's no free progressions. So any automatic checks, you just walk up to Lake Culligan and do Sister's check there. That's going to count, and then you're not going to get an item or I'm sorry, you're not going to get an Esper or a character from that. And once max scaling is capped at 50. So we're already like more than a fifth of the way there. We're like one and a half out of over 5, I guess, over there. Decimals over fractions. I'm sorry. I completely ruined math there. Wow, we also found a early offering available there for TheShwantz. Offering with Dragonhorn. That's pretty good. A bunch of physical power. We also have a Blitz user, so that will be nice to have. Setzer with slot can do a bit of magic power early game, but definitely falls off by mid game. Like it's not good late game ability. So definitely gonna have to have another option. Offering and Dragonhorn are very good options for that, especially you can find the fixed dice. I love the fixed dice, but you really need a Dragonhorn to combine it with to really get those rolls a little faster, because this is a race after all. We should be coming up out of here, out of the gathering and buying stage here in a very short amount of time. I imagine that TheShwantz might be doing... there's a lot of options you could go here. I mean, you could have Setzer's Tomb, you have Cyan's Dream and Leader. Probably Leader after you maybe get some levels. Maybe fight some of the soldiers outside of the castle. It would be a good way to get some levels before going into that boss. You also got Floating Continent. You get a couple of fights before you get into some other boss fights, and you can really push your levels really far by doing a Floating Continent really early. And that'll also give you possibly 2 Espers and your 4th character. Well, I guess we're going to do a looting raid here for a little bit longer than usual. We're about 12 minutes in here. So far, we found an offering. Oh, there we go. A Thunder Shield. Also, red jackets for sale there in World of Ruin. And there's an ice shield there for Fantastadon. So we are finding our shields and a Genji helmet. So great pickups there for Fantastadon. I did random this seed, by the way. If you want to try out your own seeds on this, the seeds are available from the first 2 weeks, weeks 1 and 2, weeks 3 and 4, and then weeks 5 on. Those are available on our website at ff6wc.com. Are you winning, sons? Are you? Yeah, Jab, like I said, yeah, I agree with that. Like, going to an early floating island would be nice right about now. Get some early levels, get a couple bosses. Hopefully they're not too difficult, and get a lot of level gains like that. But Fantastadon is going to go for the leader check. It's going to find a Yeti there. So we do find a Yeti possibly at there. I'm not going to add it yet until after the boss fight. He is going to grab a couple of those soldiers, like I mentioned before, as TheShwantz does the same exact thing. And we got the earliest fight, the second earliest fight of the entire game, guards in woolly mammoths, or volmoths, whatever we'll call them. So yeah. I didn't see any rods happen so far, and Super Balls are actually turned off. So, yeah. So that's something to note. Yeah, once again, we have the earliest of the earliest stage fights. I think this is actually like the 4th fight you see in Vanilla. For those of you also who play the PR Pixel Remastered, the newest, shinier version of the game, I guess? I don't know. Morph actually not that bad to get a little bit of healing off the little bit of combat you just had. But Cyan with health is probably going to drive these early fights, as I haven't really seen much for magic damage. All that magic damage is pretty much going to come from sets, or Swans are going to get some more fights here. Getting these fights actually with these kind of easy enemies might work out better for Swans, because you're actually getting these fights a lot faster, and it's a vanilla leader. I know this is a randomizer, okay? I know we get a vanilla Setzer, and now we get a vanilla boss. But, yeah. Seto and, oh, you're doing your own times, yeah. One thing I noted, like I said, for those of you just joining us, TheShwantz has been consistent throughout this entire series. They have been running anywhere between a 142 and a 145. So that is pretty much the target number for this particular pod. Fantastadon has done better or worse than that time. So we're looking at right around that 141 to 144, 145 range, and we'll see where our runners are from there. Yeah, getting these early fights is a very easy innings to get, and actually forcing these fights sooner than we would just randomly walking through South Figaro basement or out in the round in the world of things, or even near a healing spring. But that's a master pug. That's going to be a nope on that one. I guess Fantastadon's trying to find that offering chest, but that is a no-go. TheShwantz is going to find out that this is a vanilla leader as well. Very easy fights early on. I kind of blessed these two a little bit with this random. As Fantastadon's immediately going up the slope here, I don't know if they're going to take a dragon or not. They did have done a lot of fights here. So immediately going for a Yeti check here. And apologies for the stuttering here that we have on Fantastadon stream. That is what I'm getting coming in, so... Alright, let's see where Swans goes from here. We have yet to see any Espers so far. Once again, no free checks, so can't just... Oh, he's going to go to the Dream. So he's going from Doma Castle to Doma Castle again. So just a little bit more looting here. Took all those guard fights there from the last one to get those levels. And Fantastadon is going to take a dragon fight. That's going to be a white dragon on a white screen. Oh boy, shade your eyes, guys. Put some sunglasses on. Oh wow, that was a triple bars there for the slot roll. Dragons, I believe, are scaled, but the start of BR5 is actually going to be plus 10 boss levels, but nope, that was easy. He gets the dragon fight. That's a ton of magic power and experience. Unfortunately, nobody has any Espers yet, but that is going to increase the dragon levels by 10. We got Marvel Shoes out of that. We did have an Ice Shield and Thunder Shield, apparently, equipped, so that is an early Ice 2 and Bolt 2. The Swans is now going to get into their Three Stooges fight in the Dream, and we get a Narapa. Not much damage on Narapa. Can't use the spells against it, but we don't have any, so don't have to worry about it. Although I think one of our either Shadow or Cyan does have natural magic. Scully and Gold don't have scales. You're cute. You're cute, Seto. And at the top of Narsh, we have a choo-choo train. Come on, ride the train. We're going to ride it back down to town. Unfortunately, that's not the easiest way to get there. And I will try to get Espers done, guys. I will try my heart out. But like I said, I am quadruple tasking here, so bear with me. So if anybody sees them pick up an Esper or something, just yell it in chat, and I will try to follow along so we keep on track here. And we did get an Esper there, so I do see that one. So we do have an Esper for for Deston. He takes a slight lead here with the Esper. Yeah, double train action. You're not wrong, Destiny. We have a train that we fought on Fantastadon, and we have the train that we're chasing in a dream. Aloe Vera on the screen. I don't know if we have any revives. We do have some Phoenix Downs, I guess we could use. Well, the Yeti auto kill's not going to work on that there, buddy. Unfortunately. 2 chains. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we got a merchant for the dream, so that is not going to be a character. Possible triple, double Esper here. Okay, Yeti needs to stop resetting the health of this thing. And since they're raged, it's going to be really rough. There comes the revive out from Setzer to get that out. I always forget about that chest, to check that one for a monster chest. As Fantastadon continues to try to find their offering. Swans already has an offering, so keep that in mind, I guess. As Swans enters the throne room here. Infrit and Shiva. We might have an ice shield here. Do not have Blizzard Orb, so we're not going to be healing Shiva. Plain ice, I guess that works. So Cyan has health in Celeste's magic, apparently. As we find a Shout in the Romaro check, so that's 2 Espers there for Fantastadon. One thing I will note is that these boss fights, even though they get started with 10 levels, and that's a Poltergeist there at the bottom of Yeti Cave. Uh-oh. Immediately comes out with stop on the Yeti. Says, no, I am the real Yeti. I am the master of this cave. Not you, sir. Don't have any ice. Don't have any water or anything here. Don't even think we even have stop as Swans picks up their Esper here off that. We also got 8 sword tech levels. Doesn't help right now since nobody can use sword tech at the moment. Luckily, Cyan looks like they're immune to fire as we pick up a second Esper there for the Schwans. And I'm going to double check, see if they got a third Esper off that. Yes, they did. So that is actually 3 Espers there for the Swans through the dream. So we now know the dream gives 3 Espers. So that's a big boost for them as the fight continues here for Fantastadon. This is going to be a rough slog, unfortunately. So he's going to be kind of trapped down here in the Yeti Cave until he gets through this. Again, we're kind of early stages, so again, health's going to be lower on the Spicy Chicken boss. Yeah, I agree with your Skeeter Drum's very rude. As we see the very rare mid-check here, for some reason this town really has decent items, as we see another Dragon Horn possible as a Blizzard Orbs available too. Bought 2 of them, so definitely trying to get the fire protection here going on, as we also see a red jacket available too. That looks like it will go into Shadow since he's the only one that can use it. And there goes Poltergeist. Poltergeist Spicy Chicken down. Unfortunately, Setzer is the only one that's going to get any experience off that. But at least we can move on in the seeds. So he's going to learn a bunch of stuff. Got an Aura Lance off that as well. And we already know you got the Espers. So 2 Espers for Fantastadon with 3 for the... 3 for the Swans. Each of them have a Yamaro, who I imagine will be dropped in a heartbeat once they get a 4th character. Yep, Spicy Chicken, Ripped Yeti. Swans is going to make a pit stop here at the World of Ruin South Figaro, picking up a ribbon immediately in a Xenoground. Woo! 2 very good. Oh, Genji Glove to go with the offering. Yes. Thank you, sir. Take that anytime for more dragon horns. So ore spears, we're seeing ore spears and dragon horns. Still haven't gotten any dragon boots or a jumper yet, though. As Fantastadon's going to do their free Culligan check as well. We'll pass it actually first. And checking here, we do see a fire cap and a force shield, regular dice, and a sky renderer, which is Cyan's big weapon. And the chest in Locke's old girlfriend's house is just a jeweled ring. Yeah, Nikia can be a bit annoying without Y remove because it is such a congested square of people. You're not wrong. Yeah, the Thanos snap. Yeah, Y equals Thanos snap. Yeah, you're not wrong with that either. So we're seeing, looks like double sniper Genji glove offering on Cyan. Probably should be put in the back row though, since those dead damage can be done from the back row as well. There we go. As we see Fantastadon going down into the crypt of Setzer's other check here. We'll see what it sleeps tonight. I'm not going to try to sing tonight. I've been coughing a lot tonight, so I am not going to try to sing too many songs. And Swans goes Weo Bump away into the airship for the next check. So here's that floating continent check we were talking about before for the Schwanz. So this is going to be another triple check. So we're going from dream into buy session into floating continent. So a lot of checks in a row that we can do all at once. So far, I like the Schwanz set up with the double sniper Genji glove offering on Cyan. That's going to put out a lot of damage. We're going to get some more level ups where we get into a bunch of boss fights. Nailing those slot machines too. Looks like we're going to fight the Pugs here for Fantastadon. This is the monster chest outside of the crypt room. Doing some decent damage. We're working our way through. As we get through these fights, I want to remind everyone again that we have a busy week for Worlds Collide. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on the Speed Gamers Network, we have another pod race going to be going on. And on Thursday, 7 p.m., we have a 2x2-way race happening at the same time. So 2 of our pods are going to race side by side on your screens at the same time. And then that's not all, because at 9 o'clock, when those races are done, we have yet the last pod of the week racing at 9 p.m. All those races on Thursday will be right here on FF6 Worlds Collide on the Twitch.tv. Swan's going through some Ryoses. That's not too bad of a fight here. It can be really scary, actually, in the vanilla, if I'm not mistaken. Probably we see Life 2, Fire 2. That's not too bad. Show we have Bolt 3. So pretty decent spells out of those couple espers. Yeah. Oh, I didn't see what was sleeping. Shoot. But that is a vanilla dual hand. So we have vanilla leader and vanilla dual hand. A VK knife. Well, that's unfortunate. We do have Vargas and the Pooh Bears. Actually, this is actually a free fight if Pummel can land from Shadow here. If we can get the Pooh Bears out of the way, Shadow will be able to end this fight immediately. As no procs off that sniper. Dang. Nope, we're just electing to go through the whole fight, so no Pummel here. We're just going to do the Aura Bolt. And kapow, kapow there for both of our racers there. Vargas goes down and Dulhang both go down at the same time. Yeah, VK is a great pairing for offering. As we're going to boss fight number 2, it's the Frazier and Niles Crane. Shout out, thank you for teaching me that. Pooh Bears don't float unless they're in a honey pot with their head stuck in it. Well, this should be the dead crane, other crane here. Fortunately, nothing there for Fantastadon. I would definitely go for a Dream right about now. Or, nope, he's going to go buy some items here in South Figaro. Oh, he didn't pick up the items there in South Figaro. So he's going to pick up some really good items. He's going to find a ribbon going from the Underground. That's a Behemoth Esper for the TheShwantz. He goes up 4 Espers to 2 now. Lots of life there. Find the Dragon Horn. You've yet to find a Dragon Boots, though, to go all these Dragon Horns. So you find a second Genji Glove. Interesting. So we'll see if we can find the a second offering to go with that one. Looks like our Fantastadon stream has smoothed out a little bit, so that's great. I guess whoever is using the internet on them has gone to bed. Yep, so there's that dream check I've mentioned before, called that one, so I can play a little catch-up now. And now, remember, Dream actually is going to give Fantastadon 3 Espers out of this, so that'll put him at 4 characters and 5 Espers by the time they're done with this series, as the TheShwantz is currently halfway through the island. Did pick up the extra save there on the island partway through, so a little safety there. Since this is a head-to-head, we'll try to pull in both racers to see if we can have a 3-way talk about this seed when they're done. So on the Amba check, we got our Magi Master in the middle of Floating Island. Wow, so lucky stars. Unfortunately, we do not have Berserk. So this is going to be a bit of a rough fight. Thank you, Nightbot. Again, if you want to run your own seeds like this one and have Magi Master be hidden on the floating island, blocking your path, you can head over to www.ff6wc.com, and you can also have our Discord there as well, and get all the latest news and info on any updates we that are added to the game. Oh, hey, Sid. Welcome to the party. Trying to keep close attention to Fantastadon because actually they do not have a tracker on their stream, unfortunately, but TheShwantz does, so I am able to try to keep somewhat up to date on their runs here. As Magi Master's now laying down the hammer to the TheShwantz, but that's a heal for Shadow. He's not worried about a bunch of plasma. Well, Imaro is. What's worse, fighting Magi Master or doing the puzzle on the train? Probably fighting Magi Master. Yeah, that is definitely one of the top 3 places you do not want to see Magi Master, Sid. Either the Atma or the end check on Floating Continent, but if Magi Master goes down, TheShwantz is going to get through that. Setzer and Shadow carry on, so we actually got our Mega Elixir out of that, so that's going to be awesome. And another Esper for the TheShwantz. Picking up all 5 Espers from the Dream and Floating Continents. We mentioned that before early on in this race that those would be very big checks thanks to Cyan and Shadow, and we were not wrong about that. We also found our Fenrir Esper, so that'll also be good for the final Kefka fight. Seraph, also not that bad for final Kefka. Also, casting Reagan on your entire party at stage 1 will carry on through the rest of the race. Fantastadon is going to get their Infrared and Shiva check here inside the Dream. As the TheShwantz tries to escape the Floating Continent. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Nightbot has the lurk command. Oh well, sorry about that. Fantastadon gets through that last fight, so they will be getting Esper number 4 for them. And also will be getting Esper number 5 on the throne afterwards. Very vanilla fire dance for that Hazer's fight. Now right here, you don't want to go right. You want to go down and around the long way, because if you go straight right across that little bridge there, it's going to fall and break, and we're not going to get the last check here on the island. Tentacles, another one you don't want to see towards on the island, but we do have some levels now for our group, so this shouldn't be too bad. As Fantastadon does pick up those last 2 Espers, tying TheShwantz now 5-5. Still looking for characters number 4 and 6. For Final Kefka, we see on our screen there, we have 6 characters, 9 Espers needed. However, if you do find 9 characters or 12 Espers, you do unlock the shortcut. Cyan Zozo check here for the Fantastadon. Probably take a dragon here because there's another dragon inside this mountain. A couple more items. Maybe try to get the offering in one of these chests over here. As TheShwantz finally, I was going to say finally finishes the fight, but looks like got a little bit more HP left. There it goes. So last but not least, we'll see if this is a triple Esper check on Floating Island, and it is possible. It is triple Esper Island, triple Esper Dream. Man, can I roll them. So Fantastadon is going to take that dragon fight here, try to get a little bit more levels. Dragons will go up another 10 levels after this. Ice Dragon. We do have Fire Dance, we do have Fire 2, so this shouldn't be too bad as long as everybody doesn't get frozen. Okay, well, half our team got frozen, as the TheShwantz is going to be nipping right at Fantastadon's heels. They'll be doing the Mount Zozo check as well. Since we're in Zozo, it actually might be a bad thing to try to get maybe the Dragoon stuff, because we haven't seen Dragoon boots. Tons of Dragon Horns, tons of spears, but no Dragoon boots. So doing the clock check actually might not be a bad idea. Golden Hairpin, that might help with casting spells later as the Fantastadon gets his second dragon. Of course, everybody lives this time, so everybody's going to benefit from learning stuff, as we see a Force Shield and a Flame Shield off of that, so a little more fire protection. I would never mind a second set of hands for mics, because I am coughing like a sieve right now, so if you want to jump on me with me in Discord, I am much obliged. As we find out, Locke is writing letters to the lady across the world. I guess he didn't have enough girlfriends between the Phoenix one and Celeste, so he's writing to a third one. That's okay, Ash. I don't mind. Capture. So we already have a Locke with an already thief glove already built into them. So there we go. We'll actually be able. So this is actually crazy, because we'll actually have Locke, who already can use snipers, with a second Genji glove, and we might also know where offerings are. So we could have double sniper Genji glove offering action. Is that even possible? Crazy. Not to mention, Locke actually for Fantastadon can use the VK knife that they got with the offering. So we actually have our VK knife user with offering for our Fantastadon. As we also pick up a Genji shield off of the back end chest at the writing desk. So pretty good items so far. Hey, we got a Seto Kiyaba in the channel. Hey, little buddy.
Hey, thought I would help out. You've been pulling a lot of triple duty recently.
Yeah.
So figure a little help might be appreciated.
Oh, I always welcome the help, and we'll hope that your mic doesn't get scrambled, but it should be okay. Yeah. I'm only pulling in 2 streams and not 4, so
yeah, it should hopefully be fine. Can you share your screen in Discord so I'm not delayed?
Oh, that's when it starts taking a crap.
I mean, that could work on a delay too. It's cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, I might have to go delay, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
If we had ways to test it beforehand. Starting next week, I will be able to do that. Because I'm pretty sure my Dodeca-core 8 gig graphics card, 32 gigs of RAM computer will be able to do it.
Well, also starting next week, I will most likely be eliminated from the tournament this week. So I will be more around to help with this stuff.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Definitely have a close match going here with everyone tied up on checks, but a different weight of characters and Magicite. It's definitely gonna, lead to some interesting routing here.
Yeah, definitely. Let me mark Locke here for the TheShwantz as we get a Torado. I believe that was the Search the Skies check for them.
Yeah.
So we are tied now,
Ultros.
5 and 6. Life 3 off that Torado.
That's gonna be interesting because I don't believe. Oh, no, they do have Fenrir, so they. It is Fenrir, so double calmness protection. But with the Valiant Knife combo, I personally like Life 3 with Valiant Knife offering, because I believe Fantastadon has a Valiant Knife. It lets you protect your user, especially during the transitions in the Kefka fight. So could be useful.
That could be very useful, or in the TheShwantz case, they're using the offering Genji glove for double 8 times sniper action. So
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, some people forget about sniper. It's not maybe not well, not an Illumina or Atma weapon. Very serviceable, especially in that combination. It really starts excelling once you start pulling Genji gloves and offerings into it, especially because you're normally finding it in stores, so it's very easy to enable a Genji glove because it's easy to buy two of.
yes, definitely. Not too bad. Actually, this was not too bad of a seed so far. We only seen one difficult boss so far with spicy chicken, a little early, which was on Fantastadon, which TheShwantz has not seen yet.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that, and only Setzer survived. But where was that? Where was that at?
that was in the bottom of Yeti Cave. He was the
Oh,
true
okay.
Yeti. So,
Well, at this point, with having more characters and opening up a little bit, I don't know if we'll see Swant's head over there or not. Um, but with no free progression, I find that kind of at the end, checks seem to dry up a little bit. It's sometimes hard to find that 8th and 9th Esper with those quick free checks removed from the pool.
well, we do have our another bad boss as we have Inferno on the screen for Swans at the tunnel armor check as Fantastadon finds, I believe that's Sabin laying on the ground there next to Interceptor.
Yeah, and that's going to be really great with, now only needing 3 Espers. He obviously, one check you can't do, but the rest are rather quick, and even Phantom Train, which isn't as quick, is going to let you at least peek, so you at least know beforehand whether it's something worth going for or not.
As we see Air Force, that is a little bit of a tough boss, but we do have both 3 on several characters. That is a dead Inferno for the Swans as well.
Yeah, with Bolt 3, he's not going to last very long. Air Force can still be scary late game, but if you have Bolt 3, even with okay magic, 2 to 3 will easily just kill him. It's he's not that hard with that spell.
And we got Sabin's brother Edgar out of the tunnel armor check. He has Morph for his ability.
Yeah, and that's a little rough for Swans. Edgar having 3 checks, but one of which is not in play here with the no free progression, which makes his kind of World of Ruin loop not as valuable. And Ancient Castle is a very, very long check.
Yes, it is.
That's not necessarily what you want to see as your 6th character. Maybe early in the game, but it's going to be interesting to see what he ends up doing with him.
And Sabin had control as their ability. Sabin a lot more better checks, a lot faster checks too, between Falling House and which also gives you another monster chest for Fantastadon to try to find that offering they've been looking for the whole game. Also having camp is not too bad. Don't really want the fights though. Waterfall's a good one, as the Swans is actually going to do the skies check. It looks like that is an Ultros in the skies.
Yeah, we just saw Fantastadon take him out a minute ago. But remember, the collapsing house is not is a dead check here because of the no free progression. That is one of the checks that is
right.
removed. So a little less valuable. I mean, while they want the offering, it's still kind of a time loss for a scaling increase for a dead check. So I don't know if we'll see him go there, but still 4 other checks are either okay or are peakable. And of course, we're going to see Barren Falls, which it should hopefully be a very quick check for Metastodon.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Toronto, not Fenrir. I got mixed up.
That's okay. But we are going to see a Fantastadon free falling off the falls here. As the Swans looks like, he's going to Nar, so that means dragon and spicy chicken action as we see Kefka falling through the falls on Fantastadon.
It seems like Swans for a second forgot that collagen is not part of no free progression. He seemed to land there and immediately get back in his airship. So good catch on his part.
Actually, Swans did call again at the beginning of the game. That was his first check, which he ended up with. What was the first one he got? It was a decent item too, actually. Might have been the offering, actually.
He does do the Ragnarok check, which I was talking earlier with someone about this. That while that check also is going to be a dead check with the no free progression, you do get two choices of weapons, which increases the odds of something that might be worthwhile for upping the scaling. In this case, one of two lances. So I don't know if we've found horns yet, but if so, that
Oh, we found
is
tons of
helpful.
horns. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be politically. I'm trying to keep it PC, but we found a lot of horns in this in this race. So,
Horns for days.
oh yes, horns for days. The dragons have no horns on them whatsoever. Did not see what was the bottom of the falls though. Unfortunately, maybe
Oh,
you
I
can
was
catch
looking at
it.
the swans. I totally messed that.
Oh no, chat, help us out.
But we are seeing swans go do that Yamaru check and Tritok,
Ooh.
of course. So are both of these espers both Tritok and Yamaru, since Tassadon's already done this?
I know one of them is. I know Yamaru is. I'm not sure if I can't remember if Ghost Train was or not.
I believe it was. I think I actually did catch that part. So
Okay, so maybe that's where I got the two Esper early start then from. So yeah, that would make sense.
yeah. So if so, and we'll get confirmation in a second, since we're kind of going based off memory.
Suplex
This will be
Train.
go mode for swans.
Yeah, actually, go for Swans at like probably is gonna be right around 54, 55 into the race. Also got the Magic Master off the floating continent. That's gonna also give them Mega Elixir for Kefka as well. So pretty good tools.
And the peace of mind of knowing you're not going to run into that in Kefka's Tower. Plus, Swan's getting mega swag points with that suplex of the train. That I always forget to do that personally.
Yep, you're right. That was an Esper. So we are going to find another Esper at the bottom, but has to get through Spicy Chicken, though, in order to get there. And also probably will be taking a Dragon fight right now to try to get some spells learned off of this with the 50 magic power you get from dragons.
Yeah, and level 33, it's not horrendous, but it's about average. And while they have a lot of offensive options, if I were Swans, I would like to take at least one more fight going into Kefka's Tower of a known experience. So that dragon might be a little more useful.
Fantastadon, by the way, still progressing through the camp, is going to see a soldier, causing mutiny. Might be an Esper there off that one.
Yeah, with the 1.0 change, it's not guaranteed anymore. It used to be that if you saw a non-character NPC here, it meant an Esper, and if it was an item, it would opt out after the first fight. But that's not correct. True anymore.
Yep. Nope, gotta play it to the end now. Which I guess is more punishing.
Yeah, I was not the biggest fan of that change, but in the grand scheme of things, it's relatively minor.
Now, I would give him the Magicite, but he does have to get through a statue boss in order to get it, so I'm going to hold off on giving the Esper just yet.
It's true. The spicy chicken fight for Fantastadon earlier was very brutal, but I find that he is very difficult early on. Like someone like Doom is at least manageable. I think with the tools that Swans has, I don't think he'll be struggling too much against him.
Yeah, Swan's immediately looking to see if he has stop. Does not see it. I have not seen stop in any of the Espers, so probably not happening.
No, and no Ice 3 either, or Bio. So unfortunately, while he has some tools, he doesn't have any of the weaknesses that Poltergeist has.
By the way, interesting setup for the Swans. While you were getting into Discord, he actually changed his weapons layout. He's got Lock with a sniper and a full moon with a Genji glove. And Setzer is keeping the dual snipers, so he actually has 3 snipers he's using between Cyan and Lock. Which apparently is his core damage. Yeah.
Did you say that was a wing edge on Lock for his second weapon?
Yeah, he's rocking wing edge sniper in that order.
Huh. Yeah, normally wing is something you only see at the very beginning, and occasionally pulled out in Final Kefka for that instant death. But those snipers are going to do work. The damage is going to add up very quickly with the offering and Genji Glove. Hopefully he gets some lucky procs with it.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. He's using sniper and only one sniper offering. So he actually split the snipers across Cyan and Locke. So Cyan only
Hmm.
has using a 4 one as Fantastadon now doing the tunnel armor check to find his Inferno. A lot of in-game bosses here on the screen.
Yeah, and this, of course, we know we'll get him Egder in a second. Um, and the TheShwantz is I think one of the big difference makers here you're going to see, even though the TheShwantz is ahead in checks, is that Valiant Knife that Fandasson has might start closing the gap a little bit later in this run, because it looks like TheShwantz's offense is a little rough. He has healing and defense, but the damage is not quite there, it feels like.
No, it's not. But yeah, Fantastodon, 8,000 damage, Bolt 3. That's going to get him through that fight as Merton after Merton after Merton gets thrown down by Swans. That is 3 Mertons in a row.
Luckily, he has the protection from it, but with the damage he's kind of doing, the healing from the Murden, something that you typically don't even really factor in with Poltergeist, might actually make a difference here.
Fantastodon electing not to take the Edgar off that. It's going to keep the Setzer, Scion, Lock, Shadow. Both racers actually keeping that lineup.
Yeah, this late, it's hard to switch a character around, especially if Magic's a big part of your offense. Relearning spells, you might not have enough time to successfully learn everything you want to learn.
I don't know why. Maybe because Fantastodon is so close to the hill. Maybe I don't know, but he just will not do Floating Continent. I'll have to ask. As Poltergeist finally goes down for the Swans.
Yeah, with 3 Espers left, I would be considering it. I know the fixed encounters at this point, since you don't need them, are kind of a time sink. But if you end up getting another Esper and you kind of run out of checks and you have to do that floating continent, you're doing part of it. And at that point, you're not. Floating continent starts becoming worthwhile if you do all 3 checks based on the time, the time per check and everything. But if you're going there for just one, it ends up being a lot rougher. I would go there, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I know we had that conversation in the text chat before Schwanz even got there. But Schwanz is in go mode. Looks like they're gonna hit up. Oh, okay. They're gonna hit up Jidor.
Or maybe
Relic
he came out
shop.
earlier and there is a shop that he wants to check out or something.
Nope. I guess he's looking for more offerings or Genji gloves to split that sniper damage. I guess. As we
Yeah,
see a Dada Luma there at the bottom of Mount Colts.
correct me if I'm wrong, but as part of the changes for this week, tier shops was added, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so trying to get a offering in Ginger Glove already is kind of hard, but with the tier shops, they're still it's still possible, but the odds are decreased a lot. It is a little bit of a Hail Mary trying to grab that.
I did miss the previous check there for Tastodon, but for this check on Mount Colts did get he's got Final Kefka as well. He's actually at 9 Espers. So
Ah,
both our racers have Final Kefka unlocked at around 57, 58 minutes into the race. Swange is now switching to World of Balance Jidor, so maybe that's... Nope. Never mind. Still, that's even worse items.
yeah, and I mean, Chad pointed out rightfully that he's probably looking for Dragon Boots. I was not aware whether they had that or not, but that could be the
No.
missing piece of the puzzle, which is more likely with tiered shops than a bunch of other relics. So maybe you can find it, but I think that's gonna be a big difference maker. Now they're both in go mode, but Finasson has those Bolt 3s and the Valiant Knife. Whether or not Swans can find what he's looking for might be the thing that keeps that edge with him.
Well, he is going back to South Figure World of Ruin, which does have those snipers available.
So he's probably buying more to at least fill out those Genji gloves.
And fantastadon taking Dragon number 3 here for some levels. Oh, Ice 3 on an Esper. So also going to learn some Ice 3 action for Tiger later.
Yeah, this is interesting. At level 38, an optional dragon like this, isn't quite needed. I mean, he's probably fine level-wise for the tower. If maybe he really wants to learn that Ice 3, but this isn't. Sometimes you take Dragon for Kefka Tower because you're low level, and I don't really think this is the case in fantastadon's case. I think he's in pretty good shape.
Well, TheShwantz is going to give up the Dragon Boots chase. We found 7 Dragon Horns, or 6 or 7 Dragon Horns, but no Dragon Boots. He's going to enter Kefka's Tower at 1 minute flat, we'll just call it.
Meanwhile, we run into a Storm Dragon, which, with Bolt 3, this should not be very long for this Opera House. I think we're going to see a very quick curtain call. Oh, and a rare Whirlwind hitting... Oh, no, did not hit Shadow. I thought it hit everyone, which is something you don't normally see with that spell. So yeah, the end of this should be interesting. Obviously, the TheShwantz is a little bit ahead with progress, having got the Kefka's Tower a slight bit before fantastadon most likely will.
More Lances, God.
Yeah, but the offense fantastadon has might be enough to really close that gap. It'll be kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's snipers versus VK knife in more levels. I mean, that's what we're looking at here. As looks like fantastadon's going to do a camp out, do fully heal right before the fight here. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a close race. There's the tower. So he's going to go in at around 101, call it 40.
Yeah.
So about a minute and a half behind. Odin has mute. Okay, so we actually have pretty much all of our KT boss fight. So we have all our stuff we need. We have Ice 3, we got the Mute, we got the Odin. We also have a Magimaster Jr. in the house.
Do they have a source of instant death?
Odin?
Oh, Odin, yes. Well,
one. They have one source.
Yeah, one
two.
Source. Okay.
They only have one source, not 2. So probably use that on K2 since there's more targets. I would say. Especially when you have tons of fire damage and everything for head. So I would say on tier 1, so I would say probably save it for tier 2.
Well, I mean, there's still only one target in tier 2 that can actually be hit by it. But, I can see value for both. The advantage of tier 1 is if you don't think you have a lot of physical defense, killing off long arm can really help. Sometimes you get overwhelmed in tier 1 if you just don't have top tier physical armor. So sometimes giving that edge could be good. If not, tools can be really rough. They do have Shoat. So yes, Shoat for tier 1, Odin for tier 2 is probably the play. Assuming both hit.
I forgot about I always forget about Shoat's stone ability from his Esper summon.
Yeah, it's sometimes why I don't get rid of a Break Blade and try to remember, because sometimes I have equipped that for tier 1 in a last effort to try to petrify the arm if I don't think I have a particularly good offense. I've pulled that out a few times, but that's obviously kind of rare.
Definitely, indeed.
Still fighting number 24, a little bit tankier than what I would have thought.
Just pulling up the chat channel so I can pull them in afterwards and get the official time.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to watch the stream's getting a little
yeah, that's because I was shuffling through things. Sorry. I'll stop.
No, it's fine. Same day.
New computer next week. I swear to God, this is going to stop next week.
But he does manage to take down number 24, but fantastadon also just got there, so we are officially one number 24 boss fight in time length between these two.
Yep. And he
So
actually has
that'll be
more.
interesting.
He actually has more firepower than SWTS has. SWTS, actually no, they have about the same. Yamaro's just being dragged along for the Moogle charm.
But he has Bolt 3, where SWTS only had Bolt 2, which is a pretty big difference.
Yeah, that must have been from one of the two Espers early on.
Yeah, it's interesting that SWTS is not doing that dragon. With the lack of offense, I would imagine that taking a dragon here at Kefka's Tower, if you can manage it, might be the thing to break it open. If you're looking for something to give you a little more oomph, as he was doing before he entered.
Well, that offense is definitely showing its teeth here as fantastadon gets through that fight a little bit faster than the SWTS did. So we do hit their start times getting into Kefka's Tower, so we are going to take a switches time as well to see how their progression's going.
Yeah, I'm noticing the SWTS checking a few more chests than some people normally would, and including some far out of the way ones. He must really still be trying to fish for those dragon boots.
Ooh, I thought he was going to dragon there. You stepped a couple more extra steps there. Yeah, still digging through those chests. I mean, you're right. I mean, he's really, really trying to fish for some boots or something.
It's hard, especially in a situation like this where the second place is eliminated. That you kind of have to take chances, and if it was in the earlier rounds when you know that you maybe have a little more cushion because there's multiple racers, you might try to search around a bit more for some offense before you come into KT. But at this point, you don't want to lose any time edge you have, and just really, fishing around. It seems a little risky, but sometimes you gotta take that risk.
Well, that was one of the keys of the match going into this was time. TheShwantz has been consistent with his times, and I'll read this off to you. Week 2, 147. Week 3, 146. Week 4, 142. Just consistently 146 to right around 145, 144. This week after week.
That's really interesting, seeing someone that consistent. We'll have to ask him afterwards if his practice times were also right in that range as well, because that is very narrow.
Versus fantastadon, who's had 135 times, but also has had 155 times. And we have a statue in Kefka's Tower at the Guardian check. Woof.
Luckily, it's the easiest statue.
Yes. Oh, they both hit at the same time.
Oh, SWTS does have Bolt 3, just not on everyone, it looks like.
Okay.
But definitely catching up, as we're seeing. fantastadon entering this fight only a few seconds behind SWTS, really making up that time. You could see the time made up on the number 24 fight.
Well, right there with Locke, we can see Locke's damage. On the right, we have fantastadon. Locke is doing around 2,500 on one swing, while Locke on the Swan side is doing 2,200 with two swings. And that damage is going to go up to 2,800. So, because of the VK knife, the lower health you get, the more damage they're going to do.
Yeah, and one of the issues with VK, while a very good item, is you get to a point where you don't want the free heals. You get healed when you come to Kefka's Tower, which really slows down your offense, and you get healed again when you go into the final boss fight.
That's such a troll. Both characters on fantastadon, I think they're no. Locke, it's hard to tell. He's blue. He's blue to begin with, so.
This palette does not help with the frozen status.
No.
With how desaturated everyone is. But still not good.
Ooh, God.
But he gets to the second phase of Doom. Meanwhile, TheShwantz already in the second phase of Doom, but getting a little bit unlucky with, he's relying really heavily on slots here, and he's just not pulling any out, unfortunately.
No.
His magic won't really work at this point because Reflect's up. The image status is causing Locke to, have a number of hits before you finally get rid of that image status, and it makes offense a little awkward, I feel like.
That is true, as Cyan goes down to the Demon Rage for 8,000 damage.
That is insane, and there's also a precursor to what maybe Tier 1's going to be offering, too, if Demon Rage is hitting for that much.
Well, it was interesting because the beginning of the race, I did not catch this on the flags, but the bosses start with a plus 10 boost. To as soon as you load in, that's the first thing that pops up is bosses plus 10. So
yeah, it only affects offense, though. Their
right.
HP and experience, but their HP scaling is still at level 3 at the beginning, and then whatever level for progress. So it does make them hit a lot harder, but luckily, you can still outdamage them, and HP is not impacted by that.
Well, TheShwantz finally gets through their Doom fight. I guess Yamaro's just going to be Pinata, I guess, just bring him up to have Doom hit somebody else for a change.
I mean, not a bad idea with how targeting works. It does give you a 1/3 chance to essentially neutralize his Demon Rage there. Not the worst odds, especially at this point where it seems like fantastadon is just kind of digging in for maybe the long haul in this fight.
Yep, and as we see a French vanilla bean Atma for you.
That's a little bit of a stretch. He's in the complete opposite end of the tower he's in normally.
Well, he's in that same location, and he's bean because it's regular Atma, not toilet Atma, so...
Yeah, this Doom causing a little more of a time loss for fantastadon than I originally thought it would be. He really made up some time on that number 24, and it's interesting seeing how swingy these bosses have been for our runners in, at least when it comes to time.
I'm wondering if fantastadon's bosses just have more levels. I don't know, because he does have an extra character.
There would be a little bit more. He didn't take like Zen Thief or something, did he?
No, didn't know we took auctions either. And that's a Quake coming onto Atma's screen. Uh-oh. So that's about half their health gone. Again, Lock on TheShwantz does not have a VK.
So it does feel nice with TheShwantz
the fight,
knowing that he can tank a Quake and still be very good. I mentioned earlier that TheShwantz definitely has defense and healing going for him, and he very comfortably took that Quake, and it really didn't disrupt anything.
So, fantastadon really out of roadblock here. But, Locke's going to get targeted here for Demon Rage soon.
He can probably cast Vanish on himself real quick, which...
he gets it from Flare. Yeah. Gets it from Flare from Cyan. That's finally going to get him through that fight. Took much longer as TheShwantz has one switch into Final Kefka.
Yeah, TheShwantz really kind of made up some time there. fantastadon getting rather walled there. Really had to, kind of pull out every little trick he had to get the last little bit of damage in. But that's going to be really big. I thought that he was going to make up some of the time, and I think that it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen here.
fantastadon actually getting the validation chest there too, so... TheShwantz, the next boss we have is Chad. No, cool boy.
Definitely slow. Probably not an issue, though. When Bolt 3 is your main damage dealer, not a boss you want to see.
But it's going to equip Edgar up quick with a force shield and a spear to try to... during this downtime we have before Chad goes into demon form.
Interesting. I guess at this point, trying to get every little bit of damage and make Edgar somewhat useful. If Edgar can do 2, 3, 4K over the course of the fight, that's something. Especially when you're, doing about 3,500 or so per turn. It's definitely doable, especially if you're absorbing thunders with Cyan, but it's going to be slow. You're not worried about wiping, but Chad has a lot of HP. It's going to be a little slow.
Well, it does break a fire rod there for 4,200 damage. Not taking any damage from these Bolt 3s coming from Chad. Absorbing them all because he does have a Thunder Shield on Cyan. It's just going to be another grind here for another boss, unfortunately.
Yeah, to be curious now whether Fantastadon now will make up some time with this. That if Doom was a big time sink for Fantastadon, maybe Chad is the opposite for TheShwantz, and it'll start evening out. I'm very curious. I don't know what kind of loadout Fantastadon has on his left path, and we'll see in a second.
Well, these guys have been swinging back and forth nonstop throughout the whole entire series, back and forth with their time. So why would this race be any different for the final for Ultros pod in the Battle Royale 2022? This is winner take all to get the third seat in the 7-way fight that we're going to have next week.
Have they been trading for second place throughout their pod?
They've been trading first place throughout the whole entire.
That's what I meant.
First and second place. They've been first and second throughout the entire series, and they've been trading back and forth week after week. So
that is crazy. Yeah, look at that. Definitely a little bit of grudge match because it's not like there's bad blood here, but definitely been an intense run for these two throughout this tournament.
Okay, so TheShwantz just ends Chad now as Fantastadon goes into Chad at the same time. He has Setzer. Oh boy. Hopefully he has fire magic or something on Setzer to get through this.
I think Setzer
Fire
has
2.
Bolt 3 on him, which is not helpful here.
No, it does have Fire 2. Because we found all the elemental shields, so everybody should have at least the 2s. Also has Edgar with him, so obviously we'll be pulling out a Aura Spear on that. Fire 2 doing 6,000 damage. Okay, I guess we're good.
Well, and he has a Pearl Rod to break too on Chad. So I think we'll see some time makeup here from Fantastadon as TheShwantz has a nice little shout out to his pod at the end there. That's a nice little touch.
It's a time waster. Come on, I love the memes. I love the throwouts, but buddy, you got to finish the race here first.
It's something I'm always conflicted of when I run. That I always want to do some rename card shoutouts, but you don't want to feel miserable if your end time is 20 seconds after your opponent or something.
No, that's Annihilation on Fantastadon. No.
Oh no.
Did not have the bolt protection, unfortunately, so that's going to reset them back a little bit as we have an Ultros 4 fight.
It is rough. That was a good time for Fantastadon to make up some time. However, having access to all the mental shields, as we're seeing right now, taking off the Thunder Shield, will mean that he's not going to fall for that a second time. This should hopefully go very quick.
Yes, definitely. And actually pumping up that magic power even higher, bringing it up to 61. So those Fire 2s are going to be hitting for over 7,000 damage now, probably a hit.
Well, and he has the Pearl Rod to break, and while he might be holding on to it, hoping he doesn't run into a Doom Gaze or something on the last path, it will be one less churn breaking that, probably one less go Fire 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's actually an Ultros 2 fight. I'm sorry.
Very hard to tell with if you don't have the pincer format on him. Easy to tell if you have audio, which I don't know if we have or not, because I have that muted.
Yeah, if the audio gets cut, it's 2. Yeah. But yeah, no, I still heard something, but oh well. Maybe I'm getting deaf in my old age. So yeah, that Thunder Shield definitely making a difference, healing for 1,300 as opposed to dealing 1,300 damage. So just have to watch out for the Water Shuriken, as TheShwantz is still throwing up the memes here. I guess he's going Ultra Pod number 1.
So it's going to be interesting then. We still have Finesse still has one more fight left, but it is against an Ultros 2, so that should not take very long. And I'm curious to see whether the Valiant Knife strats are going to make up the time difference on Final Kefka. Because we haven't really seen too much of that offense in this tower because Locke has been very high HP. And I'm curious to see once he can get to a lower HP in the actual fight, whether that will be the difference or not.
Well, TheShwantz is hitting the switches. That was 119.55 for the switches. That was a almost 20-minute tower run there for the TheShwantz. As Fantastadon's still grinding through here. He got in, what was it, about a minute after, right? So,
about a minute 40 after, I believe is what you said.
Yeah, 20-minute Kefka tower was rough,
normal. Yeah.
Well, they were all grindy fights. I mean, they all just kind of had to just sit there and just take the fights. Ultros Pod number 1, yep.
And surprisingly grindy, too. I don't think anyone thinks number 24 is going to be a grindy fight. Ultros Pod number 1, Edgar.
Tomorrow.
And so we start tier 1 off. Like we said, they don't have a lot of instant death options. I do see Shoat, though, so we'll see whether or not that will hit or not.
It hits.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the Odin's and Shoat strategies, you only get one shot, so you do hope it hits, and definitely got it that time. This should hopefully not be too hard of the Final Kefka. I find that if you have all the protections in place and all the tricks with instant deaths and the mutes and stuff like that, you really can mitigate a lot of the risk and go fast, even if your offense is not quite where you want it to be at.
Ficta, fitting last boss for this pod. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad I rolled that for them. I really tried hard to randomize this just for them, considering we had a vanilla leader, but hey, and a vanilla setzer.
And TheShwantz using Phantom in Tier 1, a strategy that I've been liking a lot more if you have the Phantom to spare, or if you have the Fenrir to spare, if you have a Golem, really can neuter it really quickly, because with some setups, Tier 1 can be very scary that, if you don't have really great armor, you can see it hit for 1.5 to 2k, and really sneak up on you. So, good call with the Phantom to really kind of just, make this a non-factor.
Fantastadon switches 122.18, so that was a 21-minute tower run, as they're going to be about a tier behind now. So definitely ran through those last fights a lot faster than TheShwantz to catch up. But now we're going to have to see that VK knife go to work. Because I do not like the damage coming out on for Shadow for the TheShwantz. I think that's going to be the difference here. Is Shadow's damage versus... not Shadow's damage. Cyan's damage versus Locke's damage for Fantastadon.
I agree. Being one tier up really can make a big difference. But that damage output really is going to factor in on tier 3. Because if you can't blitz down that last 10k of sleep, and he decides to be mean with his Meteos and his trains, that can really be a huge time sink. And that could be what it comes down to with our runners, is how mean Sleep wants to be and how quickly we can get through that 10k.
And I don't think that the TheShwantz has that, 10k damage to blast through Sleep. I really don't. And I think that's going to be the difference, where Fantastadon does have that sleep damage.
As chat's pointing out, that no Shoat for tier 1. He does not go with Shoat strat, so that also... or Shoat doesn't hit, so that's also going to be interesting. Because that's going to be a little bit of a time loss that TheShwantz got lucky and did not have to deal with.
Electing not to go with Odin here. I guess he didn't equip Odin for Machine. So, vice versa, he is going to have to kill Machine
True.
the hard way. Oh, that's a Delta hit coming out. That was kind of awkward. And Shadow gets turned to stone, unfortunately. As we also have a frozen Setzer, too, for once. Oh, boy.
Ooh. Yeah, two people out. Luckily, the soft will get him back in, but just goes to show Tiger and Tools can be mean sometimes. That instant death for Tools is can be very clutch. I think sometimes people forget that. If they want to team up on you, you can suddenly lose 1, 2, 3 people in a blink of an eye.
And Tools coming out now with a gravity bond on Shadow, but that misses. Finally getting a proc out of Cyan. My god, that's like the first time I've seen him proc the whole game.
Those numbers do look good. You like to see it more often, though.
Yeah, he's had offering with a sniper the whole time, and I haven't. That's the first time I've seen a proc out of him. Looks like we're finishing up tier 1 for Fantastadon. It's we got short arm left.
I didn't time his tier 1. Seems like
I didn't time it either. My bad.
It looks like it. It feels like it was slower than Swance's tier 1 was.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we're killing each individual target, like, slower. And there we go. Lots of procs coming out of Cyan now. I think he's finally got the swing of things now.
And with Desson, his Shadow using Aura Bolt, I guess he elected not to go for Bum Rush when I think he was close enough in level to get to it. I don't know he actually get
37. So he was still about 5 levels short, yeah. That's tier 1 for... I did get tier 1 time for that one. It was at 126.27. It does have Fenrir at least, as that's finally a dead Tools. Magic is muted. We do have mute for magic, so at least we don't have to worry about magic shenanigans.
That is true, but the instant death with Tools might be a way for Tasson to catch back on a little bit of time. But I still think it's going to come down to tier 3. If one tier 3 decides to be mean, then that really is going to make the difference.
Well, here comes that Shoat now, who misses the Tools with Shoat.
Shoat does not work on Tools. Shoat only works on tier 1.
Oh.
So that was a slight misplay on Fadasson's part. It only works in tier 1, weirdly enough. No idea why.
I guess it's immune to break, I guess. I guess Doom immunity and break immunity are separate. So that would probably be why plus machines can't be turned into stone, I guess.
Oh, that makes sense.
But they do have an off switch. Fortunately, I think that was a reflect coming up on magic there, so mute's going to be ineffectual now.
Oh, that is rough.
And that's tier 2 finish for TheShwantz. 128 even, we'll call it.
Not having that mute is really going to be rough. Even if he plays nice and doesn't anything major, just the time sync of the animations of all magic spells is going to be hard to come back from that.
Yeah, it doesn't have Siren either. I think that was a reflect that came up. Maybe not.
I thought it was.
No, I guess not. I swear to God that was the reflect animation, but okay. Oh, yeah. I have no idea what's going on anymore. As we see a Bahamut summon for TheShwantz. Electing to use that instead of... Well,
you gotta take out Girl quickly and, non-elemental damage. Beggars can't be
shoot! Oh, shoot. Double proc sniper on sleep after that. Oops. But that's a dead girl.
Ooh, 5k with the Valiant Knife for Locke. That is very high damage, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. Does Desson have mute? I mean, we know that TheShwantz does. I thought I saw it, but interesting he didn't cast it immediately as soon as Tier 2 started.
I know. I'm not sure. But we do have Fenrir pop here for the Swans, getting ready for the Calmness protection. Everybody brought down to 100 HP off the Wild Wind. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, it's still in the first phase of sleep.
Hopefully, Saiyan can get... No, that's Meteo. Oh, boy. Okay, Setzer's going to survive. Everybody else dies off this. An elixir was used, but on a different target. No, he's going to go down.
Oh, no. By the way, you're like 15 seconds ahead of me, so...
I know, I'm trying to get you the action, I'm trying to key you up before him, but yeah, he's down.
Yeah, that is something, all this bad luck on fantastadon side with the mutes and the reflects and stuff like that might not play a factor, at this point, because even if Tier 2 isn't going that well for you, it's hard to catch up on 1.5 tiers worth of time. It's hard to make that up. And this goes to show something I was telling everyone during the tournament, especially some of our newer runners who would lament that they were going to get knocked out. You never know what happens with Kefka. You never know how he's going to be mean. Even if you know exactly what you're doing, sometimes just the right combination of the wrong spells is enough to cause a wipe. And a wipe is a 10 to 15-minute loss. That's enough for anyone to overcome any difference that they've had from the entire rest of the run. This is going to make this race very interesting.
Definitely, but we do see fantastadon still struggling on Tier 2 here. I believe still has blue to get through.
Yeah, I can't imagine he has too much HP left. And Locke still has a lot of HP and still doing a good amount of damage, so... I don't know what he's going to try to do to get Locke's HP lower for that Valiant Knife.
I'm not sure either.
Well, that is it for Hit, though, so he will move on to Tier 3.
Oh, we got a puppy dog block there. That's awesome. So 132 even, call it.
Man, yeah, I'm still reeling on the Swans. The whirlwind to the double Meteo. Normally that kind of bad luck is I attribute that to Tier 2. Having multiple spells in a row hit, but especially you don't see whirlwind in the Meteo a lot because that's right on that edge of his first to second phase. That is rough.
Wild Wind opener here from fantastadon, so that's going to knock Setzer down to about 100 HP.
Did you call it Wild Wind?
A Wild Wind or Whirlwind. Well, it's W-Wind. Well, you know what? Whirlwinds are pretty wild. You can't tame them.
I hate to say that I was 34 years old when I realized it didn't stand for White Wind. I don't know why I thought that for my entire life up until I started doing Worlds Collide. I don't know, man. I cannot tell you why I decided. Probably because White Wind is a enemy skill or a blue magic in other Final Fantasies, but it comes up every once in a while on the Discord of the big debate of what does the W stand for.
All right, Blue Wizard's fault. We'll just leave it at that. Girl is down for fantastadon, so we are bolt 3 sleep awake. We're just shocking him awake, apparently. Between bolt 3s and aura bolts.
With 4K, if you can heal that Setzer up and, get lucky with Train, you have a lot of options available.
No, Setzer's out of magic power, though. So no more bolt 3s from Setzer. And he was one dropping the 8Ks, too, so...
who has Fenrir on them is the other question, because it does not look like he's cast it yet.
Actually, it was Setzer, so he had to put Ether on Setzer to get the Fenrir off.
Not even Ether, a Tincture, because I don't think he has any Ethers. I think he had to dive deep and get, use that Tincture to get just enough MP. That's pretty crazy.
Well, Swan's back to Tier 2 again, 133.50. As we see Sleep getting in the Meteo range right about now. Not yet.
Yeah, we thought he was close. Meanwhile, Swant's getting the mute up before Reflect comes out. So that's always... I never really thought of that as a possibility before, but that's good to see.
Wow, Shadow doing some great damage with the Wind Slash now. Or whatever the Blitz version of it is. Going 3,000 per. Airblade, yeah, 3,000 per. He did not do that first time round. So getting some good damage out now.
Airblade is a blitz I really need to sit down and memorize. It doesn't go up often, but it can be pretty good crowd control late in the game. Especially if you raise your magic a little bit.
I believe that's a... Nope. Kitty's still awake. And that's tier 3 finish for fantastadon. He is now officially on the hill. 135-16.
Yeah, but I don't think Tier 4 is a walk in the park for him. If I was looking at that correctly, I don't think he has a lot of ways to heal his MP. Does he still have that Mega Elixir? He went the Floating Continent, right?
Fantastadon did not go Floating Continent, so he does not have a Mega Elixir at all.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. You know, level 3 spells can be a good amount of damage, but really, you can feel the MP come Tier 4. I know I've wiped a bunch of just running out of MP.
Oh my god, the procs! Wow, we just had, what was it, 5 straight sniper procs coming off the Wind Blade for 3,000 each. Wow. Swan's trying to make a statement to get to the top of the Kefka here. As fantastadon has reached the Lord of Magic on the world now, Kefka.
He does have at least one elixir, so that's something for Setzer, which I assume he's waiting on Fallen 1 for.
Yep. Didn't see any expo. Did you see a couple expotions, maybe? One expotion. Will not go to Locke, obviously, because Locke has VK. So that's going to go into Shadow, apparently.
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure out where he wants to put them. Does he not have any curative magic?
Well, I know he has Life 2 and Life 3. And Locke doesn't care, of course. Wow! Fenrir Esper coming through with a Havoc Wing there. Still got the blur action going on.
Yeah, that is a nice side effect of Fenrir. The first phase of Kefka isn't difficult, but those Havoc Wings can just, mix things up a little bit.
Oh, Hyperdrive doesn't kill Shadow, though, and he goes into the Goner.
And fantastadon doing a good job keeping that Lock at 1 HP, really playing to the strengths there in order to get that massive damage. It probably shouldn't be long now, I imagine.
Tier 2 TheShwantz, 137.30.
See that Thunder Shield being broken.
Ice Shield.
Not a lot more damage. Not a lot more HP now.
Kapow! That's it.
GG to fantastadon. That was very back and forth at the end. Man, that was crazy.
Stick around, everybody. We're going to pull both our racers in if they would like to chat about this little bit of a back and forth crazy seed.
Yeah, we'll see if TheShwantz is going to finish up or not, because at least on my stream he's still going.
Oh yeah, he's still going. He wants revenge for losing to Kefka, I think.
Yeah, the back and forth going into Kefka's tower, and yeah, I believe TheShwantz was ahead the entire time, but there were times where that window closed a lot between the two until Tier 3 decided to really ruin TheShwantz's day. That is sometimes how the rando's gonna rando.
Yeah, rando's gonna rando. Sometimes it gets pretty rough when it does, so yeah. But we do have a fantastadon in the chat. GG's to you. So how'd the race go for you overall?
For me, that was It was fun. It was a little underpowered. I kind of ran out of steam at the end. I was hoping I had more than like an elixir going into the final battle, so I took it pretty slow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. To give you a slight recap, you went into Kefka Tower a little bit behind TheShwantz, and it took a very crazy tier 3 wipe from TheShwantz to make up the difference.
Oh, he wiped. That's too bad.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
whirlwind into a double meteo. Just was it was a very unlucky, set of events. But it was rather back and forth in Kefka's Tower. Even though you never overtook TheShwantz, the distance got very short and then very long at different places. And probably the biggest one being your fight with Doom. If you do you want to talk about that at all?
It was again kind of like a microcosm of the final battle. I didn't have a very strong party. I had like most of the pieces in place for a while, but never found dragon boots for Cyan, so never could make a dragoon. Never found an offering, and I guess I'm not totally clear when Doom force fields. I thought that was like the image status, and eventually you can break that down and hit him. But am I incorrect in that?
You can.
You can. So I should have just kept swinging instead of bolt 2ing with my Valiant Knife user.
Yeah, because TheShwantz ended up doing that. Because I remember thinking that I was wondering how long it took to break it down, but he eventually did get through the image status.
Yeah, but I mean that was kind of the story of the race for me.
Yeah, I mean
Took it very slow and lucked out.
Yeah, I mean the whole race. Yeah, you said that was the story of the race for you because at the beginning, one of your very first boss fights was Spicy Chicken in the Yeti pit. So that pretty much set the theme for your whole race there.
So, what were your thoughts on the flags for this round? Because it was the biggest departure from any of the previous rounds. How did you go into this? Did you change your strategy up much? Did your opening change? Oh, I think we lost him.
Nope, we lost him unfortunately. Well, we'll
Or he
see.
was just sick of us, one of the two.
Yeah, I guess. So while we get him back, Swans is finishing up his revenge of Kefka, dropping the shield breaks here for the quad 9s. I think that's a kapow for him. Nope, he's going to get Gonargoff. Man, no love for between Kefka and Swans this time.
Yeah, it wasn't quite enough damage, but he can't have too much more, I would imagine, especially with breaking those shields and everything.
Yeah, definitely. Probably only has like maybe about 5,000 left, maybe. But is stabilizing first, waiting for the Havoc. Make sure not to proc the Havoc wings, which comes out anyways. But the Interceptor with the save.
You do have to be careful, when he's this low that you really don't want to attack him till the Goner charge because you don't want that Ultima or meteor counters.
Well, here comes that charge. Shadow's getting ready. Bolt 3 is ready. Here comes the Airblade.
This should be it.
Yep, there you go. Swans 142.57 again, right around 143, 144, like we said before. So there you go.
You called it.
Yeah.
He knows he knows the time that he wants.
Yeah, I mean.
Any word from Fantastadon getting him back in?
No word yet, unfortunately. Here, let me put some tunes in the background. So we can get the swans in here too, possibly. Nope, yep, we got both of them here. So let me pull them both back in now.
He's back now.
Hey, we got both Razors now. Swans in, Fantastadon's back in there. GG Swans, way to hang in there to get some revenge on Kefka there.
Yeah, that worldy wind into media was pretty brutal. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there dragon horns anywhere or dragon boots anywhere? I think I
No.
went to every single relic shop in the game.
You guys found 6 or 7 dragon horns and not a single booty to go with it.
That's unfortunate. And then the only good spell wasn't until the very last Esper that I only learned on one of my 2 magic users. Thankfully, they had their magic stat boosted up to like 70 and 60, but yeah, that was brutal. I was way over leveled at the beginning of the seed, which was fine, and then I spent what 40 minutes in Kefka's tower. So, yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, both of you had a rough Kefka's Tower. Swans, you went in at around 1 minute flat. Fantastadon right behind him at 101.40. Both of you had 20 plus tower
good.
climbs. So
Misery loves company, I guess.
Yeah, Schwantz, to give you perspective, I wiped to Chatternook.
Oh man,
That's how hard it was for me.
I knew that I wasn't going to die because of all of the elemental protections I had. I just was like, this is going to take forever because I'm doing 700 damage a hit on a sniper. You know, then that's the biggest thing I could pull out right now.
yeah, that was a big difference. That was a big difference between two of you. Fantastadon had a VK knife versus your sniper. Like I think it was double or triple sniper action. So yeah.
That would have definitely have been nice to have. Was that off of? Let me guess. That was off of the dragon at Narsh, wasn't it?
No, that was Marvel Shoes. The V knife was
Okay.
a dead check in Daryl's tomb.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. That
I
was the
debated.
difference.
Yeah, I debated taking that dragon after I got my 9th Esper at Umaro, but I was like, if I save enough time by just going to every single relic shop and getting a set of dragoon boots, then it's better than the levels that I'll get from killing this dragon, and that didn't happen. So I was sad.
By the way, Fantastadon, let me ask your reaction on Tier 2 when Magic decided to put Reflect on itself. I believe shutting down your options to mute it.
Yeah, it looked like a Reflecta came out on Magic. We're not sure though.
That's awful.
I saw that too, but then I just kept casting spells and it wasn't reflecting them back at me.
I had a very similar experience with Doom, right? Because usually in Doom Phase 2, it has Reflect. So I casted a spell, and I'm like, oh man, this is coming right back at me. And then it just went through, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I guess once you break his image status, you break his Reflect status too? I don't know. It was a nightmare of an offense this seed.
Yeah, I mean, like I had none of the tools that you want to have in the final battle. So I had no mute. I had.
Oh, that
no
I
Doom.
found. That I had Shote. And I had Odin, but I didn't put him on because I was like, you know what? I need something to kill Lady in Tier 4, so I put Bahamut on one of my magic users because that could at least deal some damage, right? And found Fenrir, so that was good. And I forgot that I had Airblade the first go round. I think I might have beaten Kefka if I remembered Airblade because I was like, oh man, should I have grinded to get Bum Rush? Oh wait, I have Airblade and I haven't been using it.
I noticed that you were not using that through the first fight. I wonder if it was something you remembered while you were queuing up for the second one.
Yeah, and then of course, as soon as I see the damage on it, I'm like, oh my god, I should have been doing this the whole time. Yeah, it was pretty rough. I thought I was going to wipe yet a second time because I got 3 or 4 Meteos cast on me. Thankfully, I had enough magic defense to dodge it, but that was pretty brutal. So thanks, Saberwolf. Appreciate the CD rolled there.
Oh, not a problem. I definitely blessed you guys with items and, of course, crazy boss fights there randomly get thrown in at odd times, like Magi Master on Floating Island.
Yeah, I felt really good. I was like, oh my god, I just got through Magi Master pretty fast. I think I might be in good shape here, but...
Yeah, this scene was crazy.
Obviously,
on that.
I had no idea, where Fantastadon was at the time.
That was crazy on that, though.
My main strategy was like never go to Floating Continent.
Oh, see, mine was go there and get overleveled and crush the beginning of the game.
But that's what I was saying. That was crazy on that because Dream and Floating Island both had 3 Espers each. So it was
I was looking.
juicy there.
I was looking for anybody but Umaro. After a while.
So that was so that kind of leads into a question I had for Tasson before I think you disconnected earlier. So I'll ask both you guys. There was a lot of changes this week to this flag set, more so than any other week. How did that, impact your strategies going into this seed? Did you change anything up, or were you kind of sticking with what you knew?
I tried to be more aggressive with dragons. So, like, when I got Umaro, I went straight to Ruined Narsh to take on that dragon, because at that point, the dragon only had like 1,000 hit points. So that was a pretty... I was hoping for something better than Marble Shoes, but that was a pretty rewarding fight for me. So that was something I was keeping in mind, like, early dragons, often dragons.
Yeah, when I've been running practice seeds, I found that the enemies at the beginning of the game are super easy, and then they get very difficult in Kefka's tower, and they start ramping up on you. So I've been taking a couple of free checks, even though it increases the scaling, because checks will increase the HP and level scaling, but they're still pretty low level pretty low HP thresholds compared to what we're used to, right? We're used to much higher HP thresholds, because when you start with 3 characters, you're used to them being at, whatever the scaling is times 3, versus now you're at times 0 because you haven't done any checks. So it's a little bit easier early on, and then it gets worse the further you get into the game, because every check you do, even if it's one that doesn't reward you an item, and dragons also will cost you, right? So that's why I decided not to take the second dragon, because I thought to myself, I'm going to feel the extra scaling when I get in the tower anyway. I might as well go look for an item that would help me out more immensely than the levels would, So that's been my strategy, is do a lot less looting and just run at bosses. But we got absolutely nothing this seed, so I spent more time looting than I have been doing in my practice runs, and it's just a bummer that I got RNG unlucky in the 3rd tier there. With queuing up too many attacks, not weight tricking properly. Fundamentals, people, learn them.
You gotta learn them. You gotta practice them. You gotta keep up with them, and that is something I told everyone at the beginning of the tournament, especially some of the newer runners, is a wipe to Kefka is brutal and really can swing a race between anyone one way or another, and you hate to be on the receiving end of it, but it is instead of any given Sunday, it's any given tier 3 meanness, right? That can really just swing the time.
Yep. Although I must ask, did I actually win the race because I suplexed the train? Are we?
Oh, there it is. Well, there it is.
You got a time advantage, but then you lost that time advantage when you use all the rename cards to rename all your characters. And at that point, we were a little worried that it might come down to the time it took you to rename everyone.
That would have been. It would have been worth it.
Forgot about the suplex as I was one-shotting the train with Aura Bolt. But I felt pretty good about that, too.
Yeah, I queued up an attack before I did the suplex, and I'm like, oh god, what if I don't even get this in? The chat will be mad at me forever, but it was very lucky. I think I did more blitzes in this run than any other run I've ever done. I had to do Pummel on Magimaster, Aura Bolt, Fire Dance on Ultros, right? Airblade, Suplex, Mantra. I think that's most of them.
That would be XY down up, by the way.
Yeah. So, but congratulations to Fantastadon. He won almost all of the pod races, so it's no surprise that he's moving on. So I'll be rooting for him in the final, or the semifinals, or whatever you want to call it.
I said
the pod winners.
Well, I said before the race that the goal of this race was you've been running consistent times throughout the weeks. You've been running 146s to 142s, right around there. And today, again, was no different, because If I go back to, let's see, the template here, you did a 142.57, so you were
Yep.
Mr. Consistency. So really
There we
all it
go.
came down to was Fantastadon going to go below or above that time. So
There you have it, folks. I'm like Metamucil, consistent. But yeah, I want to thank you. I want to thank you guys for doing commentary and putting on the stream. I can't have the races without you guys volunteering, so I appreciate that, and congratulations to Fantastadon for moving on.
yep, congrats to you guys. Good race out of both of you. That was a very, very entertaining race, especially at the end, guys.
I can't wait to go back and watch it.
Yeah, happy to hear it.
Yeah, GG again, and congratulations, and good luck in the finals.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks so much, guys.
All right, so we're going to wrap things up here to remind everybody that Wednesday, March 30th, that is actually today, because we're after midnight now on the East Coast. So I guess later today, tonight, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Guardian Pod will be going at it. That's going to be over on twitch.tv/speedgamers. I'll actually be doing that commentary for that race as well.
I believe that's Doesn't versus Ficta, correct?
I believe so. I actually closed out my spreadsheet, unfortunately, so I can't reopen it and see which the matchup was. But on Thursday night, come on back here on twitch.tv FF6 Worlds Collide, because we got a crazy round for everybody. Because at 7 p.m., Inferno and Spicy Chicken are going to run their pods exactly the same time. Now, the head-to-head is still going to go as planned. However, you're going to see four racers on the screen at exactly the same times, running, I guess, head-to-head with their match. So we're going to have 2 pod races going on at the same time.
And same seed, too. We are going to
run the
generate
same
one
seed,
seed for both pods, but the only times that matter are for the head-to-head. And we'll make sure that is well communicated during the race in order to remove confusion. But should be exciting to kind of be able to watch both at the same time, so that people aren't split between two different races.
And wait, that's not all, because after that menagerie is done, right at 9 p.m. or whenever that finishes, the Doom Pod's going to kick off right here on twitch.tv FF6 Worlds Collide. And that will actually be the last pod for the series, so that will be everybody.
That is it, and then we move on to the pod winners round after that for round 6. So gonna be a crazy day on Thursday, and of course tomorrow is gonna be lots of fun too as we finish out the last of our pods. So good luck to all the runners, and I'm excited to either watch these live or catch the VODs afterwards, because I am running in one of them.
Yep, and just reminding everybody again, the Goddess and Atma pods have already gone through. We'll go back to Goddess real quick. Hashmalum is moving on to that round of 7 series. And the Atma seed, it was Kilbasiago. Probably see a lot of his trackers and all. So he moves on from that. And today, of course, in the Ultros pod, the Fantastadon goes past the Swans for our 3 of our 7 runners for the series. Anything else? That's about it for me.
No, I think that's about it. Otherwise, if you can make it, we typically do a community race on Saturday that we try to restream. So, follow the Discord for updates on any events like these, and we hope to see you in some capacity for these events. That's about, I guess, all I have.
Alrighty, I'm Saberwolf. I also want to thank you for jumping in right in the middle of the race here to save my vocal cords. I appreciate you.
No problem. And I'm sure I echo everyone in the community when I say thank you for all the work you've done the last few weeks. I know you've really taken it upon yourself to stream a lot of these races. With the Battle Royale, we wanted to make sure that a lot of these races were head-to-head, which I believe every single one of them has been. We've managed to schedule that, but we don't always have a restream crew to show those. So thank you for stepping in and doing triple duty on some of these races to make sure that people can easily watch, all these races at once. So thank you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. And I don't mind helping out the community. I love doing the commentary and the restreaming and all. I love making these graphics that you see on your screens here as well.
Which
Whip
are
these
really
up.
great, by the way.
Yeah, I whipped those up this afternoon right before the race. So hopefully I'll probably whip up more for the for 9 o'clock there for the Doom Pod, because I'll be doing bowling double duty for that as well. So,
and they're a nice touch. So thank you for that. And I think that's pretty much all I have. It's after midnight, and I would like to close my eyes in a little bit.
Yes, and I gotta get up in 6 hours. So I'm Saberwolf. Thank you, Seto Kiyaba, for jumping in with me. Thank you, TheShwantz, and for Fantastadon. Congratulations, Fantastadon. Moving on. Please follow us, FF6WC.com. Roll your own Cs and enjoy the randomness that is Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide. Thank you and have a good night.
Have a good night.